Welcome back to Up the Villa podcast, joined by Justin. How are you?
Great. Absolutely great.
Right, so England 2, Slovakia 1 in extra time. In extra time. And I've got to say that lucky Southgate is what I'd say. And that's probably what I'm going to title the video at. Because our first shot on target was Jude Bellingham's overhead kick to take it to extra time. Now, sometimes when you look at these types of games and you can think, we had a lot of the ball, it might have been smash and grab from them. But England, and this isn't us coming on now. Like, I don't know what Justin's going to say. We haven't spoke about it. We've just got on straight after the game. This isn't just getting on the bandwagon of the hype, negativity train of Southgate. We've won the game, which is fantastic. I celebrated quite a lot when we scored that goal to get it to extra time because we were dead and buried. So I had a bit of passion about me today because I don't want us to go out. I want us to win it. But it was absolutely awful up until that moment, and Southgate's going to get. I imagine he'll probably get stick still, but from the media he might get a bit of, he did well to keep his substitutions before extra time because he only made 2. That was lucky as well, because it was crying out for the substitutions during the actual 90 minutes, and he waited and waited and waited. And I even said it, when I was watching it, he's chancing this. He's chancing that we score the equaliser and we get to extra time. So he was lucky on that sense that he was able to make more changes during extra time because it was crying out for that again at around 60, 70, 80, 85. And it was just bad again. So frustrating. And then one more thing. I'll get it up while Justin's talking as well. The next phase is we come out in extra time, we get the goal, and you're thinking, the game's done. These are on the ropes now. We've got the equaliser. We've got the goal that's put us 2-1 in front. Now just go and play. And what do we even do at that point? We defend for 30 minutes in extra time. So, I'm buzzing we've won, but to me, this result does not change anything. You could possibly say, it'll give them that boost now, that momentum going into the next one. It won't, because we're playing crap still. And we'll play the same way in the next game. And look what's going to happen. We're going to wait for that bit of magic to happen, and that is it. Justin, are you agreeing or are you disagreeing or how are you feeling?
I'm feeling emotions around football that I have never felt before. And what I mean by that is I am utterly numb to England now.
Yeah.
He has totally ruined watching international football for me. He honestly, I cannot ever remember having less emotion when we scored. By that point, I'd made my peace with it. I'd watched the 90 minutes. We were dross, and that's being generous. We were dross. The manager is negligent. That's how bad he is. He's incompetent. And he gets to the point when I just thought, that's it, we're out. I'm not surprised. He's utterly clueless. Let's just draw a line under it and he can go. And he gets out of jail by a moment of pure brilliance by a world-class footballer. but it changes absolutely nothing for me. We
Yeah,
were
I agree.
always going to go on and win that game in extra time. A team like Slovakia, 40 places below in the rankings, had the stuffing knocked out of them with seconds to go in a game they battled hard, which was the only way they were going to win it, I suppose, at the end of the day. Although they did have a really good go in the first half.
Mhm.
We were always going to nick a goal, wasn't we, at the end and win it. And I just, I can't believe I'm saying it. He is totally and utterly ruined watching football for me in tournaments. And I'm not naive enough to think that in a tournament, you get the odd game where you don't play that well and you have to somehow grab a last minute winner, take it to extra time, maybe even get through. We've done it time and time again, scrape through on penalties. And I'm infused by that. I'm excited. It's exciting. Oh, penalties, are we going to go through? I sat through the last half an hour just vacantly looking into space because I'm almost at the point where I don't care. And you will not find a more passionate Englishman than me. I love
Yeah.
this country and I love football. Anybody that watches this podcast know that I love football. I live for football. And I want to see England win a major tournament as much as I want to see Villa winning something. There's never been, would you rather that or that? Because I want both. Before I die, I want to see England win a major tournament and I want to see Villa win something. That's how passionate I am. But Gareth Southgate has ruined it for me, utterly ruined it for me. Yes, we're through, but 4 games of utter terrible football, clueless tactics. He's ruined the top scorer in the Bundesliga, the best player to come out of this country in my lifetime, Jude Bellingham, by the look of him. The player of the year in the Premier League, Phil Foden. They look like pub players playing under him.
Yeah. I mean, the big thing. There's a couple of things that I'm going to mention that, again, have really annoyed me. And the first thing that's sort of annoyed, not annoyed, like this player hasn't annoyed me, but the situation has annoyed me. The sort of Kobe Mainu thing has annoyed me. I love him. I think he's brilliant, and I think he played really, really well. But even that situation has annoyed me because we go into the first game with Trent, we go into the next game or the third game with Gallagher, then we go into this one with Mainu, and it's like, what are we just like going through the squad? Like, no Trent, no Gallagher, Mainu. You know, if he'd have played bad today, then what? Then what do we go? Who else can we put in there? Like Wharton? Do we go? Oh, Wharton's up next. That's annoyed me because it just shows he hasn't got a clue what he's doing. First half, like, you know, anyone that's got any basic understanding of football, it's, you know, players in a football team, they have to be able to like rotate around the pitch. So, for example, use this as an example. Kane drops deep, Bellingham runs behind. Kane drops deep, Bellingham runs in behind. Foden drifts off the left. Trippier goes forward. You've got all these different rotations, these moving pieces. And what's happening is Rice will pick up the ball off the centre half, and then you'll just get Foden coming to Rice. You'll then get Bellingham coming to Rice. You'll get Saka moving infield a bit, and everybody's just like coming to the ball. Why is nobody like running behind or
I,
moving around? It's honestly that 90 minutes. That's all I watched. Players just coming to receive a ball, and then players just standing there. You know, that annoyed me. And then
I,
before I finish
go
this
on.
point, Justin, I just wanna show everybody um, this point that I'm trying to make as well about what happened in extra time, because we've got the momentum bar, right? So, you know, you're looking at the momentum bar of the game. They were pretty decent in that spell. That's where they sort of done some damage. And then extra time. This is extra time here. What what is going on?
I think we've got
I
to.
just don't get it.
I think we've just got to forget tactics and formations and setting up the team and tweaking it at moments and all that. That extra time, just reverting to what's happened in the first 3 games. Get ahead, switch off, defend, hope for the best. Let's just hope for the best. That could have really backfired on him. He just sat back, and if they'd have nicked one at the end, penalties could have gone out. So that could have cost us. Half time, everybody's screaming at him, you've got to change this, Gareth. This isn't a group game now. This is you're going to go out. And he didn't put a substitution on. Now, at the end, he'll probably say, I knew what I was doing. I thought we could nick it. But he got very, 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 very lucky tonight. Very lucky.
Yeah, we're a minute away from being out.
Knocked out. Yeah, seconds away from being knocked out.
Without having a shot on target.
Yeah, you've got a bench full of players that he openly said before the game, we've got quality on the bench, if we need it. He's... I don't know what it is with the bench. He does not trust that bench in critical moments. He doesn't trust it. Otherwise, he'd have put them on earlier. I thought Cole Palmer had when he came on, he affected the game. He looked to get on the ball, go past the player, look for a killer pass. His inability to make big calls on big players and just play them and hope at some point it'll happen. Kane has been dreadful. Foden's been dreadful. Saka's been very in and out. Bellingham scored twice, one right at the start of the tournament, one now. But in the middle of all that, he's been pretty poor. But I wouldn't leave Bellingham out because of that. The other 3, I'd happily leave out. Happily leave Kane. Happily leave Foden and Saka. Well, honestly, I'd leave them all out.
Well, I mean, Foden.
But he won't do it. We are sleepwalking our way through this tournament. And it's exactly what's happened in all the other tournaments at Southgate. And the reason why at the start of this tournament and the start of the last tournament and the one before that, I went into them fearing them, not looking forward to them with the players we've got and the squad we've picked, because I know at some point he will cost us a game. And he's almost done it earlier this tournament. Switzerland are a step up from there.
Yeah. They are.
Beat them.
Yeah, they are.
We still should beat them. We are a better side than Switzerland. And the semi-final, let's say Holland probably is more likely. So again, he's got the easiest side of the draw. So we're going to hit, and I'm just fed up. I'm so fed up, honestly.
Do you know the other thing that's another thing that's annoyed me? Conser at left back, like it's just like, mate, like you haven't got faith to put him in his starting position at centre half, and then at times we've seen you revert to what Unai Emery does and put him at right back, and now he's putting him at left back, and I'm just like, even that annoys me.
For a while, didn't he? He dropped Saka.
I'm just like, I mean,
I also think I know that. Yeah, well, hopefully, he's out, isn't he? So hopefully, Conte gets a chance. But I know that there's certain percentage of people who'll be watching this, and I've got a couple of people in group chats I'm in, and they're not. I wouldn't say they're pro Southgate, but they are towing the line that we're through. Don't know what you're moaning about. We're through. We've got through the group stage. It's top of the group. We're into the quarterfinals. And I get that argument, and that's the minimum requirement now for me. Is but even getting through, I'm not happy because I'm fed up. He's ruined it for me. But the way we've won tonight is the only way we will win this tournament. And I can't believe I'm even saying them words. We will win it in spite of him, not because of him.
Yeah, but the thing is,
we will just flukily get through. That's the only way we win games, by fluke.
We won't do that because the reason why we won't do that is because your luck runs out, and you play a certain. It's like Liverpool last season. Remember when they kept Liverpool towards it, sort of like around the sort of like 8-10 games to go. When they kept scoring them late goals, they kept getting them late winners and stuff. That's not longevity. Like you can't keep doing that, and I just think we'll end up getting found out, and we won't. The thing is though, against the good teams, they won't allow you to get to that point where we were sort of like able to score that goal. They'll finish us off by then. So
massively. I mean, I keep looking at the players at our disposal. I think, how on earth are you making them look that bad? And people saying, "Oh, you got the players have got to take some responsibility," and to a point they have. I get that. When you're on the pitch, you have to take responsibility for your own performance. But the nearest thing I can equate that to is the Gerrard era that switched to the Unai Emery era. The exact same players under a better coach became world beaters because they were coached right, the mentality was better, the information they were being given was much better. Everything was very clear, everything that was given to them was really easy to understand. They knew their jobs backwards and forwards, they knew what they had to do, where they had to do it, and he turned good players into very good players. So what's happening in the England camp that's making them go out and world class performers that we've got putting in performances like that? I just can't understand it.
It is the tactics and the way it was set up, because I was watching Cole Palmer when he was on, and Cole Palmer, there was one time where he'd come a little bit deeper on the left, and like he'd looked up and there was nothing on for him, and he passed it and he was just doing this because he got nothing in front of him. And sometimes you can't blame the players for that, because he's got the ball. He wants to look up. He wants to see options. And it's the manager that's instilling where those players are meant to be, the shape of the team, how we progressively attack. And you can tell at times, like when Bellingham's getting like frustrated as well, you can tell it's like the actual system and the way that we're playing. And
I mean, at Villa, we play not exactly the same way, but we play a very similar way. 4 at the back, two sixes, and then 4 in the attacking position. So now our structure's slightly different. But the way we play and the way England play, we don't play through the lines. We don't look to stretch, to draw them onto us and then hit them on the break. We don't play this like even like the false right back, where you have one more attacking full back to try and overload one side. You've got the 2 holding midfielders, like obviously we had Kamara and Louise. One of them doesn't look to go, and one of them doesn't sit. One of them doesn't look to be proactive and take people on and pick passes or play through the lines. The 3 in behind Kay don't look to come short or run past the fullback. They made a really good point before the game that the fullback was 37. And Gary Neville said, when I was at the end of my career, I didn't like defending, but the thing I hated the most was not even with the ball, was watching a really nippy winger run past me. Because I thought, Christ, I've got to track that run. No, the ball doesn't have to be anywhere near him. I've got to track him, because if the ball goes to him, I'm out of position. We didn't even make their fullback do that. Just simple. I haven't got no coaching badges. I've just learned from doing this podcast over the last 3 years. And you don't see any of that in this England team. Then they're basic things. You're talking the highest level of coaching this should be, with the highest level of player who should understand, coming from Pep Guardiola and Unai Emery and Jurgen Klopp. They're coming from really good coaching techniques and a season. Most of them have good seasons, coming into this tournament. We should be absolutely flying. We've had an easy run. We've had 4 games. We should have waltzed past. And we're talking like this. This is a frustrating thing.
Well, the thing is, the thing you got to remember is, I think I don't think I've been negative. I think I've just been realistic, and I think you have the same. But like you say, there are some people that are a little bit, more positive about sort of like just going through and stuff. And the question you've got to, I sometimes ask myself is, if you were an opposition team now, so you were a German fan, you were a Spanish fan, you were a Portuguese fan, and you'd watched England's 4 games at the Euros, what would you be thinking? You'd be thinking, I want to play these because they're no good. So I think that says everything, really. But the one moment, that we actually looked quite good was when Foden scored that goal that was offside. Ball into Kane, ball out wide, nice cross from Trippier. But how many times do we do that a game? Like, do we just go like Oh, we've done it once offside. We won't do that again now. It's
Yeah, how many
like
passages? Yeah, how many passages of play do we get momentum? Do we have a build up of momentum? We don't. And you know, before every game, you know, we came into this tournament losing. Let's not forget our home to Iceland. So we started the tournament, and before every game, all 4 games, I have said I've gone onto social media, TikTok, or whatever, Twitter, and I've said I've drawn a line under that last game. I'm going to be positive. I'm going to say with the players we've got, I'm sure at some point it'll click and we can make it work. And I would love to have come on tonight and go, wow, what a performance. We've blown them away. Bellingham was brilliant. Saka was running at them. Foden was dictating the play. Mainu looked like a revelation there. Rice held the middle really well. The back four never looked bothered. Keeper didn't have a save to make. Kane got a couple of goals. Couldn't have gone any better. Brilliant. Let's look forward to the rest of the tournament. That's what I want. And that could still happen in the next game. And if it does, I'll sit on here and I'll say to you and everyone, brilliant, what a performance. I don't know where it's come from because the rest has been shite, but it's clicked. And there's still enough potential in that team for that to happen. Will it happen? I don't think so. I don't.
Well, I mean, I'm exactly like you. I did my score prediction this morning, 3-0 England, super positive,
2-0.
super optimistic, and you know, I give them a chance. And surprise, surprise, every single time so far this tournament, I've come on here and we've had to react like this. We've had to assess what we've just watched, you know. So, you know, we do try and give them a chance and get behind them. But if they're not showing what we want to see, then you know it's not good. So yeah, I think me and Justin frustrated. We can see past the result, I think, of what's happened again and how we've got to the quarterfinals. So again, you know, you go into the next game with more questions than answers. You know, yeah,
You can only be honest, Luke, can't you?
yeah.
There's no point me coming on here going, what a brilliant performance. Wow, Southgate's a tactical genius. That the lack of substitutions paid off in the end because it's lying. I want us to win this tournament, and if we do, wow, that's fantastic. Well done.
Right, we'll end it there then. So cheers, everyone. Make sure you are smashing the like, subscribe, and we'll end on up the Villa.
Bring back the Villa. That's what we'll end on.
Yeah, not up the Villa. Bring back the Villa.